Hi guys, welcome to Wisdoms with Lynette McFadden.
And I'm Cameron Bailey.
And we can't wait to talk with you. We've had some incredible questions, so we're going to answer those, and it's time to come and join us. Cam, it is wonderful to see you.
Yeah,
welcome. It's about time we caught up again. Everybody's been saying, what are we up to? And I know you've been incredibly busy because it's nearly the end of the financial year. So how's the month gone? How's the year felt?
Well, it's great to see you. You've been away in the UK actually for a few days.
Yeah.
So
eight days to London.
Tell us about that later on.
I would love to. Thank you.
Yeah, but the market at the moment, we're getting near the end of the financial year, so this is our busy time. All the agents at the moment are flat out because this is our sort of listing peak time. So what we're seeing in the marketplace is that there's lots of stock out there.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? You and I have seen something we've never seen before, and that was listings actually off the board at our Papanui office. So never seen that
never had it in my 20 years anyway, 19 years. So, but we are seeing an even market. There's still good sales being done, but there's a lot more choice. So buyers have got 3 or 4 houses to choose from at any one time. And if you're not priced well or presenting your house or promoting it very well, you'll be left behind. And that's what we're seeing at the moment. But still good sales being done.
And what price brackets? What are you noticing?
I think everything's busy. I think that the bottom end of the market from sort of 400 to 800 is really busy. There's
first
a lot
time,
more
is
buyers.
there sort of first
homers,
time?
they're back in the market, and the investors are starting to come back in, which is nice.
Yeah.
They're still quite hard though because interest rates are still high, so trying to get all that to work. The middle part of the market from $1 million to $2 million, I think that's a little bit tougher, but still moving. Yeah. We are seeing in the high end market that in the 3 million plus.
What's high end for you? So people know what you're the top consultant in the city, in fact in the country. What do you determine as high end here in Christchurch?
I think 2 million to 4 million is what I call high end, and there's an ultra high end starting to open up. So 2 million to 4 million brackets quite tough at the moment, to be honest. I think last week I checked and there was 22 properties for sale within Canterbury in that price bracket.
Really? So
a lot of choice, and I've got a few of those properties for sale myself, and you can just feel people bouncing between houses. They've got choice and options, and they're putting pressure on sellers to meet the market. Otherwise, they'll go buy something else. And this is what we're seeing at the moment. It's almost what was 3.2 last year is now 2.8. It's probably come back a good 10%, even in the last 6 months. So there's a lot of talk about there how the market's at the bottom and it's going to go up. I don't believe that to be the case. We've had freakish markets with COVID and with earthquakes where it went down and then it went boom straight up, and that was just artificial really. So we're in a real market. It's certainly not doom and gloom. But that high-end market takes a little bit longer to come back than the bottom end. So I think the bottom end of the market and the slightly cheaper houses come back a year ago, whereas the top ends maybe come back in the last 6 months.
Got you. And those dynamics that you've just said to us, more property, so more stock than has been before, more choice, and they've got to have everything right to be able to say, this is the one that we want.
And cost of living's hurting people, higher interest rates, cost of living is a lot at the moment. So people are selling not under huge financial pressure, but they're feeling the pinch and they're trying to make life easier. They might be selling a rental property. They might be downsizing their home. There's a lot of that going on. So
downsizing sort of in addition to downsizing because of sort of change of age or kids leaving, just downsizing to take some money off the table?
Just to make life simpler. More simpler. I think people just making life easier. They might be selling a $3 million property to buy a 2.5, take 500 off the mortgage, and just make life easier. People don't want the stress anymore, I think.
Isn't that our mantra this year? We want to make our life easier. But we're both working bloody as hard as ever, but we've got to make things a bit simpler. So I get it.
There's a new high-end market out there. So the high-end market, sort of the ultra high-end market's probably above 6 million. In town. There's maybe 1 or 2 sales, 3 sales every year done at that level. I know in the last week or two there's been a sale done at 8 million, there's been a sale done at 7.5 million, and there's been a sale done at 7,950. So 3 really big chunky sales in the last week. So I always think those guys beat their own drum. They don't care what the market's doing. They don't care about interest rates. Most of them are, pretty well.
They're entrepreneurs, aren't they, or business people, or I understand.
So they want it. They'll have it. A lot of them are buying a solution to a problem. and they'll just pay the money if they have to. But it's good to feel those sort of sales happening because they affect slightly cheaper prices as well, because it makes everything make sense.
And I know, although discretion is really important, that we've been very involved in those particular sales, which has been a privilege.
Well, we've done 2 of the 3, so within our company, which is great. So we're really proud of that. Yeah. But we like to work in all parts of the market, not just the high end.
Totally. No, I so get that.
I think it's a good market. I love this market personally because it's a lot more challenging. There's probably a lot of agents out there not getting paid at the moment, I suspect. We're all working a lot harder.
Yeah. But it brings the best out in you.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing that we've always talked about, haven't we? You know, that high tide raises all boats.
Yeah.
You know, when you're around people that are doing this level of business and creating these opportunities for our owners and our purchasers, it's a really exciting, dynamic time.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that.
I think the negotiations I've noticed really tough.
Yeah, they're sticky.
And long. Like I'm usually done on my auctions on a Thursday and sort of on to my next thing by 12, 1 o'clock. Yeah. I was still there at 3 o'clock last week.
Yeah.
So that's just, it's taken a little bit longer because there's a little bit of a gap opened up. Yeah. So all the sellers out there think the market's fantastic still and we're going up from here. All the buyers are feeling the pinch and thinking it's doom and gloom. So there's a bit of a gap opened up at the moment. But once the gap bridges, it's actually good common sense.
But not everybody can bridge that, Cam.
No.
You know, not everybody can bridge it because they don't actually have the words or the knowledge or the experience to be able to move people.
That's exactly right. And they over-appraise things. They go and appraise a property because they need the listing.
They want to please.
They'll tell someone that a house is worth 1.3, but it's really worth $1 million. They'll rely on trying to chop you down for a few weeks to get you realistic, and it'll be an awful experience. Yeah. So there's a lot of skill at the moment of having a good experience with your real estate agent, I think. Yes, good experiences with your real estate agent. That's so true. You're going to tell me about your trip?
I would love to tell you. So I've been to London for 8 days. I've been out of the country for 12. Only got back this week. Yeah. Sort of takes a couple of, it's really 31 hours door to door. Yeah. But I've been on a design trip. Yeah. With a phenomenal woman called Serena Crawford and a small group of 8 Americans. An incredible lady from Turkey and myself. I travelled the furthest, and we were really, really looking at design, English design. I've met some of the icons of the design world over there, ladies like Jane Churchill and Nina Campbell, and just incredible people, and looked at what's happening in that world. And for me, real estate and design, there's quite an intersection there. Yeah. They sort of cross-pollinate, so it was so exciting. I've been a little designer in my own world for many years, so to be able to talk and be with people who have that at the centre of their universe was so enthralling, so loved it. I
think it's wonderful that you're able to do things that you really love to do, because so many people don't take the opportunities or have the opportunities to do these things. Yeah. So, and it can be anything. It doesn't have to be design. It could be cooking. Could be doing. Could be the people that go on those wonderful treks or decide to climb mountains or things like that. John was called the other day by a friend of ours who said, "Would you like to climb Kilimanjaro with me?" And he's bloody thinking about it. Which I don't know about that, but we'll see. Life's about experiences.
So much so.
I read something the other day. It was a podcast actually, and someone said to me, it was all about, they started off and there's nothing in a mall or in a shop that you can buy that in 10 years' time you're going to really care about.
Exactly.
So but the experiries like that, they're bucket list stuff, aren't they?
It was such a bucket list. And, we were doing things from sort of like 8 in the morning. We'd do up to 5 things, like meet various designers, go to various homes, look at various products. I went to archives looking at fabrics that have been created over the decades, and I did screen printing myself at a fabulous place, and it was really, really exciting. Then you'd go to like a private club in the evening, or a wonderful restaurant, or you'd go to a talk. A jewellers would come in and talk to us. It was bloody fabulous. But no shopping, nothing like that. It was all about learning and filling my bucket. So and went on my own. First time I've ever done that distance on my own. Made all my connections without any trouble.
Yes, I know John was worried.
Was it? I know, but had a wonderful time. So I will probably do something like that again with that particular group because they were fascinating. So
I'm looking
yeah,
forward
good.
to see your new house you're building in Wanaka soon now,
Oh
because it's
my
going to
God.
be, sounds like it's going to be extravagant with all this design.
Look, Kim,
flair.
I know, like, I've actually started changing things already. I thought, right, I'm going to really get into curating everything. So I'm making a few little changes. I've been told not to, but
Just
I
don't
am.
tell John.
Yeah, don't tell John. Exactly. Now, Cameron,
Yep.
we have actually got quite a few questions, and none of which you and I have prepped for. So we're going to be asked a few things, and
Yep.
to the best of our ability, we'll answer.
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff.